So I've been getting a few messages and a few DMs, sometimes even comments talking about people want to understand what type of projects I have done or what type of projects would be typical of a Microsoft 365 engineer. So I thought I would make this video for you guys and hopefully help you understand what type of projects does, a Microsoft 365 engineer do, and help you know some of the ones that you could actually do within your own, let's say, demo tenant or tenant with an M365 business premium trial license. As I do know some people are looking to understand what type of projects they can do to be able to put on their CV or on their LinkedIn profile. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi. My name is Cami and I've been a Microsoft 365 consultant for just under a year now, and I've also been a Microsoft 365 engineer for just about 2 years as my last role. So within this period of 3 years, I've done quite a few different types of projects. I'm going to start off with some of the ones that I was doing as a Microsoft 365 engineer. Then I'll go into the ones that I was doing, or that I am doing, I would say, as a Microsoft 365 consultant. So to start off with, there were a few smaller projects that I would do, normally around identity and access management and improving a company or client's identity security posture. To be honest, that's all jargon for types of projects that would include using PIM, privileged identity management, RBAC, role-based access control, stuff around conditional access, whether that's risk-based, a specific policy for MFA, and anything to do with device-based conditional access policies as well. Then we have the non-smaller type projects, so all the other ones that I've done in the past that can range from, device management with Intune to, data loss prevention with Purview, or, data migrations and moving clients from, let's say, on-prem or Dropbox or Google Cloud all the way to SharePoint. Some examples of projects that I did was, for example, using Intune. Client will come to me saying, look, we've got all of these new devices that we've got from a particular OEM. They've got loads of Samsung devices now that they want to use for work. The users are currently using their personal devices for work, so they kind of want to clamp down on that and make sure that users are using company-owned devices that are, of course, secure and set up in that way, as well as making sure that they have everything that they need on that phone. And then I'll be tasked on creating a particular solution that would facilitate that for the client. I quite liked doing Intune projects. There's a lot of different things that you can do to kind of like get the same outcome depending on certain particular requirements, and that will determine what way you're going to do particular things. It was fun kind of figuring out what's the best approach, because you also have to think about how the business is affected, how the users are affected from a work perspective in you making this change. But yeah, that's device management with Intune. Then we have other projects like data loss prevention, where a client will come to us saying, look, we want to implement something where we can prompt our users to know that they are about to share, sensitive information outside of the tenant, and also bake in some controls where certain types of information are just blocked from being able to be sent. So that's DLP, data loss prevention, in Microsoft Purview. And the aim of those type of projects were to create a solution that would minimize or try to prevent data leaks. Then I dabbled a little bit into the Defender stack, not much, but a few types of services or / products. So stuff like Defender for Cloud Apps, Defender for Office 365 is weirdly named. If you ever hear Defender for Office 365, just think email security or email protection. And then we also have Defender for Endpoint, which was protecting devices. So a few projects around all of those three. Then we have the one that I've heard people quite loathe, which are data migrations and building document management systems. So back in the day, I'm making it sound like this was like 15 years ago, but I used to do a lot of data migrations, Google Cloud to SharePoint, Dropbox to SharePoint, on-prem to SharePoint, NAS to SharePoint, SharePoint to SharePoint, basically everything to SharePoint. And I used to use a particular tool specifically with the SharePoint to SharePoint ones called ShareGate, for any of you guys that want to know that. There are a few other tools that we use for other types of migrations, but to be honest, I can't remember off the top of my head. And then there'll be, set setting up the document management system, so how they're going to categorize their data and their data structure, how permissions going to work, how sharing going to work, all of that type of stuff. Then we get into the more creative side of things, which are SharePoint intranet sites. So I've done a few of those as a Microsoft 365 engineer. This is where I would actually kind of segue into, being a Microsoft 365 consultant, because that's the main bulk of what I do now, actually. Now, out of all the types of projects that I've ever done, these type of projects, SharePoint intranet sites, are the projects where you're going to talk to the client a lot. There's going to be a lot of collaboration between you and them. And because of that, there could be actually quite a few delays when it comes to them giving you assets, them giving you access, all sorts of types of things. It's also the project that I find where you would need a lot of buy-in from different teams, because it's the one project where every team in some way, shape or form is involved, because every team in some way, shape or form is actually going to use the SharePoint intranet site for the most part. But yeah, that's most of the projects that I've ever done. Oh, I forgot about sensitivity labels when I was a Microsoft 365 engineer as well. Basically create labels that basically categorizes how sensitive, let's just call it information, I wouldn't per se is only specifically data, and having controls that do particular things depending on the severity or sensitivity. Those are the majority of the projects that I've ever done, or that I currently do, with one exception. So I found myself in the new territory of Power Platform and doing certain projects around that. And that would be specifically, Power Apps as well as Power Automate. Power Automate for, business processes, and then Power Apps for, custom created apps or solutions that help the client do something that's not, native to Microsoft 365 or default to Microsoft 365. But an example that you can create with Power Apps is a leave request app, for example. Maybe the client wants to move away from spending money on a third-party system, and knowing that their Microsoft 365 license allows them to be able to build an app. I mean, they're already spending the money for the capability to be able to do that. Why not get someone in to create an app where we can manage our leave requests? So that would be an example of what they could do. Funny enough, technically you could also create a robust Power Automate system of flows that kind of do the same thing, just without, an app interface. But yeah, that is, all of, the different types of projects that I've done. If you do want to see more videos on the types of projects that I've done and a more in-depth breakdown on each individual type of project that I've done, then definitely comment down below and let me know. I'll make the videos for you. And if you're looking to become a Microsoft 365 engineer, I do have a playlist out with some of the videos that I've created on some of the certifications that you would need to do or that you can do to become a Microsoft 365 engineer, as well as some of my experiences as a Microsoft 365 engineer. I know it doesn't have a lot of videos yet, but I'm going to be building it out a lot more and make sure that there's a lot of videos in there to help people who want to take that career path. Apart from that, make sure you like and share the video. And if you have any questions, if you have any input in the video, then definitely comment down below. I'll be answering your questions. And with that said, see you in the next video.